Here's the new G-Ride 2022 Acura TLX. Just picked up factory mudguards from the dealer, painted in the color of the car. So we're gonna try our luck at putting them on. Hey, what's that back out there? For my safety, I should probably leave this to the professionals. Everything's here and made in Taiwan. Interesting. Very cool. Okay, so they tell you poke a hole through that. Take 2 screws out there because you're going to reuse them. Here's the mudguard. It's painted body color, in this case majestic black. That's going to look good. Pays to read the instructions because it's the top hole. Dang it. Oh well. Well, there's one. That's about as easy as it gets. Now we'll see what the rest are like. Alright, so the left quarter panel is different. No screws or anything to poke through. You're going to have to install the bracket that comes with it. And they give you all the instructions on these spring clips. So we'll see how it goes. That's one done. You just got to take the clip and fit it over the plastic there. It's a little bit tight. Just take your time. Don't do anything you're going to regret, like crack the plastic. Alright, so there are 2 self-tapping screws that are inside the wheel well. They're 1 and 2. They got to come out. I missed that. But the instructions tell you that there's screws there to reuse, so I'm a dum-dum. Alright, so that's the bracket installed. The 1 screw, you can barely see it because the wheel's still on. They don't tell you to remove the wheel. If you're so inclined, removing the wheel just avoids the trouble of having to get in there with I'm using a stubby Phillips to tighten those screws. You can get them started by hand, and then once that bracket's mounted, then you're just going to mount the mud guard. I could see why aftermarket mud guards don't go because there's nowhere to mount them unless you have this bracket, and then you have to make this bracket work with whatever mud guards you're using. So stay tuned. Since the mud guard's gonna, almost cling to the body, I just used a microfiber towel and some water just to wipe down the quarter panel and bumper, and you can see down here all the nicks from what gets thrown up by the tires onto the rear valence. Now some of that's going to be covered up now by the mud guard, and now I can appreciate the mud guards and why the factory ones really, they'll hold to the contour of the body and prevent that from happening more in the future. This car is only 3 years old. I picked it up a few months ago. It only had 14,000 miles on it, so she wasn't used much, and I'm going to try and preserve her as much as I can, because if you're all following Acura developments these days, the TLX has been canceled. 2025 is the last model year. Okay, here's a new development. So when you flip the instructions over to page 9, now you realize you gotta puncture the inner liner, put in one of those clips, and that'll be the 3rd mounting hole, which is over here. And they're showing the wheel being off. Now I'm going to try and do it without taking the wheel off. So what I did was I mounted the mud guard right now with 2 screws. I'm going to snug them so I have my reference. Then I'm going to punch a hole through the liner there, then take the mud guard off, fit the clip, and then put it all back together. Fun! Guess what I'm getting ready to do. Well, didn't think I'd be pulling a wheel off this soon, but might as well see what the rear end of a TLX looks like without super handling all-wheel drive. Bummer, but for how clean this car was, I was not gonna pass it up. Big brakes on it. It really drives wonderful. Okay, mud flap time. I get why they did it this way. Basically, like you saw, I mounted the mud guard, I lined up the hole, I punched through it with an awl. Then they tell you to make a slit below the hole so you could feed the spring clip in, and you got to spread it a little bit before you do that, and then pinch it like I did with channel locks. So now, after all that, the mud guard's going on. Okay, there you go. She's on. And she looks good. Alright, here we are, right side. Better view of the screws now that the wheel's off, and look at that beautiful clean suspension. Well, she's done. I think it really helps finish off the look. One thing I didn't know is that you do have to, under here, reuse one of the front screws to mount the back of the mud flap. So you don't use all the nice screws that they give you. You reuse some of the factory screws. But she does look good. Well, I hope this helps everyone out. Have a good day and enjoy your TLX.